I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Kelly's one-strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam! Howie Kendrick has done it! They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout! Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7, the Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
I am man enough to admit it. I was wrong. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one of your two hosts, permanent hosts of this broadcast. That is Cole Johnson. The other half is convalescing. Hopefully, he might show himself here during the broadcast. If not, oh, well, he might not. Who knows? But what I do know is on tap, we're going to review Game 5 of last night between the Celtics and the Heat, preview Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Do the Mavericks stand even a scintilla of a chance against the Warriors, or will the gentleman sweep happen? And I owed you a concise BRONSEXUal Confessions, and I will deliver on that promise today. Now, let us get to the business, shall we? If you are wanting to comment like my man Sick, like my man Andrew, like my man Ryan, or K Peeps, or A Pizzle, or that Critical Broncos fan, or Aunt Tricia, or Latine A, or the new family members like Ethan, if you want to, or Andrew, or if you want to be amongst the throng, all you got to do is go to youtube.com. We're live right now. We're also live on BS3 Network on Roku TV, but we are live on YouTube. That's right, youtube.com/C/Snowman in the Morning 50. That is Snowman in the Morning 50. You do that, and you can chat along with us. We're also on Facebook Live. You can chat there as well, but definitely on YouTube, we are live. And also, while you're there at YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can get any and all content that emanates from here. Now, let's get started. See, family member right there. Good morning to you, Andrew. Good morning to you, sir. So we were due to, I guess, to say, have a good matchup between the infirm Celtics and infirm Heat. South Beach was the place. Last night was the venue. Last night was the time. And the first half was rather sluggish, but it was to me, the Heat's liking and pace, because they only have one offensive option that is consistent. And along with that consistent offensive option, he's ailing, and that would be Jimmy Butler. So in that understanding, the Heat had to turn up the defense, and they did in the first half, to the tune of only 37 points in that first half. But the second half was not the case, as the Celtics just pulled away with it. 93-80 was the final score. For the Heat, you had Butler, who only finished with 13. Adebayo was the high for the Heat with 18. You had Gabe Vincent off the bench with 15. Robinson chipped in with 12. Max Strus only chipped in with 4, and PJ Tucker only hit one of those corner threes and did it for 7 points. Now, for the victorious Celtics, who to me have too much firepower for the Heat to stop or slow down, Tatum started in the third quarter of pulling them away. He finished with 22. Jaylen Brown brought him home and finished with a game-high 25. You had Al Horford, who finished with 16. And you had Derek White, who was basically healing in the first 2 games of the series. He's actually put his foot on this series thus far. He finished with 14. All I have to say about this is my first thought was, this is a Celtics in 6 type of scenario, considering that you only had Jimmy Butler, who was the consistent scorer. But you also, on the Celtics side, you had Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They were not taking care of the ball. Well, it looks like they have taken care of that issue. And speaking of an issue I got to take care of, I'll be back momentarily.
If I were Joel Embiid, I'd run like hell.
Irvingologist, why is your leader a horrible basketball player?
Ben Simmons, get out of the league. Period.
I'm talking about number 33, Roger Craig.
And you don't lose to the same team in the Super Bowl twice. LeBron James as a basketball player is pure, unadulterated trash and has been for 20 years.
I'll expound later on the last subject of this video, but I want you to join me in welcoming Mr. Brian Snow, my partner. How you doing, sir?
Morning, sir. I'm happy to be with you again. Happy to be on the show again. Good morning to Andrew and those of you tuning in. I'm ready to get back to work. Period.
Right, well,
and apparently, so were the Boston Celtics.
Yes, I was going to say. So, if you're ready to get back to work, I will say this: I saw a team that in the second half of last night's game say, "You just simply do not have it at all," and they took care of business. And they smelled blood, and they smelled blood. They smelled blood. They saw blood in the water, and they went for the kill. Your thoughts, sir?
What I expected. It's what I expect. I expected the Celtics, after they blew out Miami in Game 4 in Boston, to go to Miami and blow them out in Game 5. The Heat are tired. And I mean that physically, because they don't have enough weapons and they don't have enough horses to keep up with this hungry, young Boston Celtics core. Forget the bench, the core.
Right.
The core of the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mix in the bench. You want to talk about confidence? There is some supreme confidence going on heading into Friday night in Boston.
It was, when I surveyed the series before it began, I said that I could see Boston in 6, maybe 7, but I could see it in 6 simply because my number one issue was, even before the Heat was even more dinged up than they are now, you have the issue of, okay, so on this team, who's going to score? It is Jimmy Butler and ... question mark. And my thought was, if the Heat was going to win this series, you need to have a second guy who was going to step up and say, all right, Jimmy, I will take the scoring burden off of you, and we together will lift this team up. And we saw in one game it could be Bam Adebayo, but that has not been that consistent presence. Meanwhile, in the Celtics, you said the key word, Brown and Jason Tatum. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, consistency. That's the big thing. Consistency. I mean, love the fact that Miami is the number 1 seed, but the Boston Celtics are smacking them around. They've smacked them around for the last 2 games. It's going to be 3 come this weekend. And I believe by the end of this weekend and by Memorial Day, we will have our World Championship Series matchup set. And folks, if you're thinking along the lines of Cole and I, it's going to be epic. And that's all I'll say.
I started to really believe this was going to be the team, the Celtics, I mean, that was going to be the Eastern Conference champ. It wasn't the first round series. To me, I found that to be. I think you can follow my logic here. I found that series to be comical because it was the soap opera that was the Nets, and it was a mismatch for sure. But it was a soap opera that was the Nets. Dysfunction Junction. Thank you, Chris Bass. We were focused on the Dysfunction Junction, yet no one was really paying attention.
They
to
were focused on the listen. The fans were focused on the dysfunction junction. You and I were focused on the Boston Celtics putting a foot in their ass. Period.
Yeah, because people were thinking, and they were taking the Celtics so lightly. They were thinking that this was the Celtics team that limped all the way to the All-Star game. They thought, well, no, they have nothing for the Nets. The Nets could just simply overpower them offensively. Well, it it looks like what the Celtics did after the All-Star break is that they overpowered that offensive juggernaut defensively. And they basically beat up, beat down, and beat aside Kevin Durant. And I love Kevin Durant, but they basically beat him up, down, and to the side. And they punt Kyrie Irving. So to me, that series is a farce. That wasn't the focus to me when I said, the Celtics actually have a chance. It was game 4.
It was the Milwaukee series.
It was, for me, it was game 4
it was
of the conference finals
against the series.
When I saw this team, I mean, game 2, yes, they played a great game 2, but I thought was, okay, well, they're at home. They had to save face because they lost game 1. When they went to Milwaukee, they basically played the Bucks game and beat them down. I said, okay, I think this might be the team. Now, all they have to do is get past same issue that the Heat have, the Bucks had. All they have to do is get past having somebody else step up along with Giannis. And they had a hiccup in game 5, but they actually did solve that problem. They allowed the others to have to try to drum that offense. They couldn't do it. And the Celtics tightened that ship down. And I said, this defense can be a problem for any team that is offensively strong. So here comes the Heat, who don't really have much of an offensive weapon outside of Jimmy Buckets. And this was almost a gimme for the Celtics in terms of overall. All it had to be was they couldn't get cold on offense. But now you have the Celtics, who's a strong defensive team, and we will now segue into I think my partner's favorite basketball team, and that is the Golden State Warriors, because tonight tip-off is at 9. The Warriors host the Mavericks. I will say this bluntly. I'll say this quickly. The Warriors will kick the Mavericks out of San Francisco tonight. I just don't see. I just personally do not see any team that can stop the Warriors right now, the way they are going and the way they're playing. I think the only way you can is if you have pace and if you can consistently be aggressive offensively. If you can just challenge the Warriors defensively, make that team play defense, that's the only way you can challenge them. But when you have a team in the Mavericks where you have the number one guy in Luka Doncic who can back you down and back you down and back you down and basically grind an offense to a halt, that's a problem. That is a huge problem. K Peeps, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? Check out this man on the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. And he has more things in the works too. You can check that program out on the BS3 network, Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Brother comes with some heat along with 3 other guys that I have huge amount of respect for. Shout out to Ernest, shout out to Quinn, and shout out to Terry. KP says, I think the Heat using their physicality against others tires them out. And here I think is the problem that the Heat have. When you have this team that they play a physical style of defense, although they do it with athleticism, when you play against another team that plays a similar type of style that actually can be a little more physical than you, the last 2 games is what results. Cool. What's up, brother? Hello to you, sir. I appreciate you coming. And again, here's another one. Playmakers channel. The Eagles Elite podcast. Check him out. He and his crew, awesome. And he's going to be on this show momentarily again because, well, he's Peeps. Just like my man K Peeps. He also says, I think since the Heat use their physicality against other teams, one of them says out being shorthanded with injuries, it leaves them with shortcomings. Perfect point. Tyler Hero is a prime example. He had to sit. I mean, Kevin Lowry had to sit until this series, and I think he's still hobbled. I don't think he's 100% now that he's back. And we don't even have to talk about Jimmy Butler. He's playing injured. So, yeah, this team is limping to the finish line, and it's unfortunate because they seem to have a steady year. I won't say it was the greatest year that the Heat's ever had, but it was a pretty good year for them. It was a steady year. They did well in the first round, and they actually did pretty well against the Celtics, 76ers, in the conference semifinals. Now, here they are in the conference finals against a team that can play like them, but they have more weapons on offense. And the job of the Heat defensively is a little tougher than the Celtics job, because the Celtics, all they have to do really is concentrate on Jimmy Butler, make shots for him tough, and challenge them to have someone else beat them. That makes it easy for a defense to defend against an offense that is limited like that. Whereas you got to cross your fingers and hope the Celtics either have a strategic brain lapse, as if they can't even think about shooting a 2-pointer. They just shoot threes, and they just chunk up three after three after three, and they brick and brick and brick some more. Or you have to force them to turnovers, or you have to cross your fingers and hope that either Brown or Tatum is having a cold night. Now, the Heat defensively can influence a lot of that, yes. But in order for the Heat to advance, they need to have a couple of those games where all of those are in the Heat's favor. And for most of the series, most of that type of series, it will not be in the Heat's favor. So when you have that as an issue, and you have the way they play and the physicality coming back to bite them, you will have injury issues. You will have hurt issues. You will have issues where you simply will not have that many to go up against your opponent. They probably can healthily trot out 8. And I'm probably being liberal in saying 8. Maybe 9 if they stretch their bench further. But yeah, they're hurt. They are hurt. They're being dinged up and dinged up and battered down. KP says Celtics are better suited to defend the Warriors, so I am looking forward to seeing that. But will the Warriors' experience be the X factor or backbreaker? Okay, that is a wonderful question, man. Here's what I believe. So you have a team in the Warriors, and I've said this on air, and I'll say it again. You have a team in the Warriors who want a defense to play the basketball version of cha-cha. They want you to guard against the perimeter and have you inch further and further up into the perimeter. Then they just hit you with backdoor cut at the backdoor cut at the backdoor cut. Then they have you slide back to guard against the post drives, to guard the paint, to guard the bucket, to shut off those backdoor cuts. And then they start hitting those threes again. And then they have that defense slide to the perimeter again. And you have them just you have a defense just doing this all game long. That's what the Warriors do best. And they can make any defense uncomfortable when it's all clicking. Now, what the Celtics can do, and I really believe this is what they would need to do. Did you see Game 5 of the conference semifinals matchup that the Warriors had with the Grizzlies? How they executed on their offensive end, where they, in that game, basically said, there isn't a horse in your stable that can stop us. We're going to run you and run you and run you and run you completely ragged. And this was in half-court sets. This wasn't fast breaks. In the half-court sets, the Grizzlies were backdoor cutting and penetrating and getting the spots before the Warriors could defend it, time and time and time again. And as the game wore on, the Warriors got more and more tired. The Celtics can do that Here's the issue that I have with the Celtics in doing that. It is, can Tatum and Brown take care of the ball if they decide to penetrate and penetrate and penetrate? Now, what I think they need to do is I think they need to have Smart bring up the ball if he's going to play. Smart bring up the ball, have him distribute, and basically have Tatum and Brown play off the ball. Almost exclusively play off the ball. And if they could do that, I think the Celtics will stand a chance. That's a huge if, though. That is a huge, huge, huge if. And I believe that, not the experience, but I think you've been here so often and so long. You have played into June so many years that you run out of juice. The best example I can come up with is probably the 1989 Los Angeles Lakers. So imagine this. So the core they went to the finals in 1980, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. And here you are in 89. This was their 8th trip in the decade. And you started to see injury after injury. First, I think was to, if I'm not mistaken, the first one was to Byron Scott. Then the next one was to Magic Johnson. Then I think the next one was to Kareem. And then I think they tried to target James Worthy in Game 4. And he wasn't battered down, but he was just tired and worn out. You have these long seasons that start for these teams in September when they train. You play 9 months of competitive basketball, 8 months of straight up competitive basketball. And you do that year after year after year. That's going to take time and body and wear on a body. I don't care who you are. I don't care how great you are. Your body's going to need rest, and your body's going to rebel against you. BS3 Network, the folks there, says hello to me and hello to the chat. Hello to the BS3 Network fam. K Peep says, by the way, Patrick Beverly is back on ESPN. Is ESPN trying to destroy their TV station? This is a perfect example of how to kill your TV station in a few hours. All right. I'll address that in a minute. K Peeps also says, as you talk about the backdoor cuts and all about the Warriors, the analysts on Get Up are explaining the same thing against them playing the Mavs. It was like, look, that's what the Warriors do. That's what the Warriors do. They want the defense to just keep going. They want a defense to just be kept guessing. And they're like, okay, we got to get backdoor cuts. Oh, man, we got to go against the perimeter. Okay, they wanted to do that. They want defenses to do that. And as I said, the only way you can stop the Warriors is if you have to be athletically aggressive. You have to almost 48 minutes just keep at them on defense. Keep at them. Make them play defense. That's really the only way you can beat the Warriors, in my opinion. Make them play defense, tire them down. And if you could do that, you have a chance. Cool says, truth be told, Boston should win if both teams are full strength. Injuries cost several teams wins in the playoffs. Yeah, but I'm not. And all things being equal, put all chips on table, both teams in a vacuum. Yes. Here's the but. And we know, all of us here in the chat, you know you're going to be hearing this. I'm talking KP, Cool, Andrew, Ben, Ivan. You all going to hear this in the playoffs. You already know it's coming. Probably starting this weekend, you already know this is coming. Well, you have the experienced Warriors versus the inexperienced as a core Celtics, other than Al Horford. Because Marcus Smart hasn't been to a finals. Jaylen Brown hasn't been to a finals. Jason Tatum hasn't been to a finals. And that's going to be the major focus. You have that versus the core of Curry, Thompson, and Green, who have been to 5 in the last 7 years. And that's going to be the focus. And people are going to say, well, yeah, you put them talent to talent, the Celtics, because they play better defense, should be the team to win. But people are going to have the experience factor. Okay, well, the Warriors, 6 finals in 8 years. And it's going to be a talking point we're going to be hearing ad nauseum until that series is over. But do I believe the Celtics stand a chance? Oh, yes. They stand a huge chance of beating the Warriors if they get to the finals. And I only say if because it's just a formality. The Heat could come back and win the final 2 games. I don't see the horses. And I agree with my partner, and I agree with all of you in the chat. The Heat just don't have the horses. KP said it best. The Heat, the way they play, it has bogged them down. It has made them injured. It has made them thin as paper. And Cool is right. Cool is right. When the coach of the Celtics, Ime Udoka, actually gets his message across to his team and they actually adhere to it and practice it, which is take care of the ball, be aggressive on defense, and make the opposing defense think when we have the ball, because you have to take care of the ball and you have to make that defense think. Keep them on their toes. The Celtics have to do that too. You do that, we will win games. And the confidence on the defensive end for the Celtics is started to grow and get stronger. I'm sure you all have seen it. The defensive end is where I'm seeing the confidence in the Celtics grow and grow and grow and grow. But they're going to get challenged because they haven't faced an offense like the Warriors. And people could say the Nets is that, but no. The Nets don't do motion. They do ISO. The Warriors do ISO at times, but they do motion more than ISO. So it's going to be a great series. It is, but I know the talking points we're going to be hearing ad nauseum, and it's going to be ridiculous. That it's going to be the inexperience of the Warriors versus the inexperience of the finals of the Celtics. It's grown men; they know what they're doing. That's the way I look at it. A slight break, and I think it's time for me to go full in on BRONSEXUAL Confessions. Hold that thought.
Have y'all even considered the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo, yes, that Jimmy Garoppolo that everyone wants to send everywhere else, may not be sent anywhere by the 49ers because, I don't know, they actually trust him?
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Welcome back to the abbreviated edition of Snowman in the Morning. I am Cole Johnson. The other appeared for a brief moment. He might appear again later. Love my man Brian Snow. All right, here's my dilemma. So I've been hearing ridiculous takes from a certain fan base, and I know this is Thursday, but I didn't get a chance to really do a good one yesterday. But I've been hearing this ridiculous talk from a fan base saying that the players have sucked, and it has sucked because, well, their Kang isn't in. So my thought is, what playoffs have they been seeing? There has to be some reason and rationale as to why they're saying that these playoffs are horrible. Aha! I know why.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the BRONSEXUAL Confessions.
All right, I want you to understand something. The energy that I come with this segment was brought to you by LeBron James. Yes, you heard me correctly. The energy that I bring every Bronsexual Confessions segment has been and is and will be brought to you by LeBron James. Why? Because he had the nerve to put this on Twitter almost 10 months ago. Keep talking about my squad, our personnel ages, the way he plays, he stays injured, we're past our prime and time in our league, etc., etc., etc. Do me one favor, please, and I mean please. Praying hand emoji. Keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Hashtag thank you, crown emoji. You know something? I will start the festivities off with Negro Night. Say it, sir.
The GOAT conversation is officially over.
Negro Night, you say it so wonderfully. All right. I will say it. You have a Mr. Glass candidate in Anthony Davis. You have Russell Westbrook, that if he was in that car in 1996 trying to shoot at Tupac, we'd be seeing him alive today. You have a lineup that can be AARP qualified. You have a lineup where you can paint the handicap logo on the paint. You have a roster where you can fit every last one of them with a wheelchair and a walker. You're old, you're slow, you don't have the great IQ of a team, and you don't play much defense. And the fact that people still are saying that you could win it all, even with the quote garbage, close quote teams that are in the playoffs.
Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
It's ridiculous to me when I see all of this. I tell you. I love my peeps. Sick Diggy. What's up, homie? Good morning, brother. Good morning. I hope your morning's been going good thus far, bro. BS3 Network says the Celtics can hang with the Warriors, but not trading threes. I love that. And I agree with you 100%. Cool McCain says Golden State takes games off. That will kill them against Boston if that's the matchup. And they might take a game or two off in that series. You never know. K Peep says all you need is Samuel L. Jackson to coming into going off this confession. I just might have that one day. Six says, good morning, Cole. I'm doing good, man. I see I caught you at a great time. Yes, you did, sir. KP says, good morning to you, Sick. Andrew, talking about the tweet that LeBron put forth. He says, that tweet aged like fine wine. K Peep said, no, leave my boy Westbrook out of this. With a whole ton of laughing, crying, and rolling on the floor emojis. He also said they'd easily get swept by any team in the playoffs, including the Grizzlies. I agree. I agree with you. I agree because they name a team they could keep up with other than the Nets. I can't think of one. Seriously. And this isn't slander. I can't think of a team that the Lakers could keep up with in the playoffs other than the Nets. I can't do it. Six says the entire Lakers roster could use those motorized scooters that old and obese people do. And Cool says LeBron couldn't get his team to the playoffs. Have several seats, Mr. James. I'm with you on that, brother. And Six says, K Peeps, do you want the Coach Carter version or the Pulp Fiction version? But see, the reason why this is it's irking my nerves is this crap right here. The utter blasphemy. Giannis lost by 30 in Game 7, the Eastern Conference semifinals. KD got swept in the first round. Embiid choked in front of a home crowd in the conference semifinals. Steph has been getting carried all playoffs. Jokic got bounced in the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James is still the best basketball player in the world. Really? 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 Seriously, he's the best basketball player in the world. You want to stand on this, Bronsexual?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I don't understand your logic. I want to grasp this logic here. How is it that you are comparing? Let me see if I can think of all the names that I heard and I saw. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic. All of them did one thing this year that LeBron did not do, and that is make the playoffs.
You for real?
Are you kidding me? I mean, because the teams on which they played are now out in the playoffs, that makes LeBron James better than all of them.
Have a Coke and a smile and shut up.
Seriously, the logic escapes me. It literally, utterly escapes me. Let me put this graphic up again because it's such blasphemy. It is such blasphemy. Bronsexuals, I want you to look at this. And I'm going to get to the step point in a sec. I want you to look at this. All this is blasphemy because all the names of these players you mentioned are on teams that made it to the playoffs in 2022. But your squad couldn't make it to the play-in round. But you want to hold this participation trophy saying, well, LeBron almost won the scoring title. LeBron now is the second most prolific scorer in NBA history. These individual awards mean jack squat to what those five men have, and in Steph's case, are doing. And that is bringing their team to the next level. The one thing that Jokic did not.
Bitch, are you for real?
Okay. Now to the Steph point. I've been seeing so much slander about Steph Curry coming from Bronsexuals. I could have this graphic litter the rest of the show. Because I've had so many conversations with the Bronsexuals talking about how inferior, how grossly, how grossly inferior Stephen Curry is to LeBron James. How either Curry wants to play alongside LeBron James, or Curry can't lace LeBron's laces. All this crazy whack stuff. And the thing is, this man is he is one game away to make his 6th finals appearance. And he could tie Yo Man in winning his 4th. Oh, and I think LeBron has won 4. So we will have 2 in LeBron's era who's won the same amount of championships. 4. Because more than likely, if the Warriors do not suffer injury, or if they don't suffer lapses like Cool actually said, which I agree with you, that, by the way, Cool, the Warriors could win their 4th chip. And I know you probably then go to the bag of, well, LeBron has 4 finals MVPs. Curry has either 0 or 1. That right there proves that LeBron is better. See, all of this crap is, I know all this crap is what I'm going to be hearing. I'm going to be hearing this.
Right.
Did LeBron win the scoring championship this year? That was Joel Embiid. Did LeBron win the MVP this year? That was Nikola Jokic. Will LeBron win the Western Conference Championship this year? More than likely, that would be the Warriors. And will he be the first ever recipient of the Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP? No. It will be Wardell Stephen Curry II.
What?
I'm sorry. Did you say
Stephen Curry.
Wardell Stephen? Did you say Wardell Stephen Curry II?
Yes, I did.
What?
It will be Wardell.
Then I came back at the right time. I got
Steph.
I got a visit from wound care. I got a visit from wound care, so they took care of business for me for my feet. So that's why I quickly had to step out. Randa and company have been helping me out. Randa and Chloe, my wound care team for the day. But yeah, you said Wardell Stephen Curry II, aka Chef Curry, aka Steph Curry, aka number 30, aka the captain of the Warriors, aka doing something LeBron will never do, and that is say it with me, most valuable player.
What?
Did I cover everything?
You covered everything, and I was saying that I was going to give the people a proper Bronze-Sexual Confessions because I was sick and tired of hearing this narrative of, well, the 2022 playoffs have sucked, and there's something missing about the playoffs.
Wait. Whoa, time out. Did you say Bronze-Sexual Confessions are on the table?
Yes, sir. I owed them.
Then roll that motherfucking intro and let's get it.
Oh, before I do, I have to love the chat because they are rolling. Of the clips they are. Of the clips that Six had asked, KP said, "I'll take the Pulp Fiction version." BS3 says, "I'll take the Snakes on the Plane version."
Yep.
Cool says all those guys.
Yep.
All those guys that I mentioned Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, Steph, obviously, and KD. So all those guys took their teams to the playoffs, and then LeBron did not. And of course, it's the other blasphemy thing that I rolled, saying that all those went and got bounced to the playoffs, or they gotten carried by their team in Steph's case. But and all that makes
my ass.
And all of that makes LeBron still the best basketball player in the game. And I'm thinking you all are smoking trees.
No.
And I mean, you smoking bad trees.
No. I mean, look at it. Listen, if Steph Curry is being carried by the Warriors in this playoffs, fine. Keep that narrative because he's getting carried all the way to the, and you'll love my next three words, Western Conference Championship.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Oh Lord.
The Western Conference Championship. Okay? Listen carefully, Kemosabis. Listen carefully, Bronze-Sexuals. If Steph's being carried, even though he's averaging 31.5 points per game in the Western Conference Finals,
and he averages
he's going to be carried all the way to the Western. He's going to be carried all the way to the Western Conference Championship. And Cole, do me a favor before you roll the intro. Who was the first person besides Steph saying, and you better give me a quote right now. Besides Steph saying, after being eliminated by Memphis, go.
Quote. All right.
Y'all don't want to see us next year.
Close quote.
Now, we talked extensively in the summer during my time in North Carolina. Who was the first person who said, who was the first person that echoed that statement?
Oh, it was you, and I could tell you when you echoed it. It was literally not being facetious. This time last year, it was around Memorial Day last year because the playoffs started
Yep.
Sometime around this time. The play-in was done, and the Warriors were bounced by the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies advanced, and the Warriors went home. But about that week after, you actually said the league doesn't want the Warriors. They don't want them problems. And here we are a year later. And here we are a year later.
The league did not want to see these Warriors.
No, they did.
Steph said, "Y'all don't want to see us next year." Matter of fact, let me repeat that. Cole, hit me. Steph said,
"Quote:
Y'all don't want to see us next year."
Close quote. Oh man.
And Lord knows these bronsexuals, these Carmelo maniacs, these Westbrook fiends, these Irvingologists, these Hardenites, any other player that will disparage the Warriors that play because the Warriors play team ball, by the way. Anything that disparages that. Anything that disparages that. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I may be in a hospital right now getting taken care of, getting prepared to go home here in the next day or two. But I'm still going to drop some knowledge. I'm still going to drop the heat. And Cole will be happy when I say this. I will take y'all through the second hour of today's show.
Oh, you feeling that good? Okay. All right.
I'm feeling that. Listen, when a food connoisseur like me, after major surgery, doesn't want to eat, and now I've been able to eat all week and keep food down and not have my body rebel against it.
Oh, you got your strength back. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Slowly but surely. It's a marathon, and I know that. I know that. It's a marathon. But doggone it, I want to get back to work.
Well then. Well, let's see what this chat is saying. Is you about to get all the work you can handle. 6 says, "K peeps, I got to get you a certain brown wallet for that." Talking about the Pulp Fiction one, which I love that movie. K peeps says, "Bronsexuals, they will defend their guy to the end of the world." And he's laughing at Sick Diggy about the wallet.
Yep,
the Pulp Fiction wallet. He also said that Eddie Murphy clip though. Oh my. 6 says, "Cole, there is no logic with them. It's nothing but circle conversations. They engage in such circle conversations that it's like a circle jerk among a bunch of eunuchs."
And Sick took the exact term out of my mouth that I was thinking of. That's exactly what that is. It's one big fat ass circle jerk. That's all that is.
Damn!
That's all that is.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a bar, bro.
And good morning to the folks at the BS3. And then good morning to the folks at BS3 Network, Ben Sudeth and Company, Ivan Dawkins, and thank you to the folks at BS3 and at Real Wise Radio for sticking with yours truly while I recover from this cancer and keep kicking it in the ass. Because I have a birthday to celebrate this year. Matter of fact, I got 2 very special birthdays to celebrate this year.
Well, yeah, one
of them is next month,
and another's in July. All right.
Yep, I got one to celebrate June 22nd, and July 21st is mine. And what's the common denominator? They taught us back in grade school. For me, that common denominator, the number is 50.
When life truly starts. K-Peep says, "Let's look at it this way. LeBron has changed teams a number of times and got 4 rings. And now let's look at Steph. Steph has been with the same team, same teammates, and won a number of rings. And is still balling in the playoffs and still winning. 100%, bro. 100%. He says, man, these clips got me rolling.
Hey, all props to Cole Johnson, my executive producer for the clips. I just shoot him an idea and he takes it from there. All right.
Hey, what can I say?
Big Diggy says, I know one thing for sure, a lot of these bronzexuals that be dogpiling on Steph Curry will try to slide into his wife's DMs if given the chance. And Aisha would slap them all back with iron hand.
No. They don't want to slide in Aisha's chats. Because they don't like her. They want to slide in Sonya's.
Yeah.
Them chumps want to slide in them chumps want to slide in Sonya's DMs. And Sonya, that's his mother. Now that she's newly divorced, they want to slide in hers. So I'm like, man, are you crazy?
Listen. I've been binge watching The Equalizer while I've been here at Columbus Regional.
It's a good show.
Denzel Washington said the perfect thing. And I say it to these bronzexuals. And I know we gotta get to the opening here in a moment. You're supposed to stand for something, punk.
Yep. Ryan. What? And good morning, gentlemen. Good morning for watching. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Ryan.
Good morning.
It's always a
good morning, Ryan.
Always a joy to see you get that greeting, my brother.
It's a pleasure.
Always a joy.
It's always a pleasure to see everybody here in the chat. Definitely. It's always a pleasure.
Definitely.
Always a pleasure.
KP
and Mr. McCain, I may need you for part. And Mr. McCain, I may need you for part of this hour. So we'll see. Roll the intro, man. Let's cook.
Hold on. We're gonna cook. Hold on. Let me get to the rest of this too. I know you chomping at the bit. Hold on. 6 says, good morning to you, Ryan. KP says, Steph gets his first finals MVP this year. I agree. I think he does. Ryan says, is the Nick Fury version off the table? No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
It is not off the table. 6 says, bronzexuals do smoke. They smoke vape. They occasionally. Otherwise, they'd be popping with a certain pill that made Jamie Foxx violate himself when he tried it, which is why I don't mess with any of that. BS3 says, Cole, I love when you say
yo Kang. and that's who I borrowed it from. When I do my bronzexual confession, that's exactly who I borrowed it from. That's exactly
Kang. And I meet it with all the stank when I say it.
Yep.
6
every bit of the stank.
Yes.
Every bit of the stank.
6 says, Snowman needs to have Elton John's I'm Still Standing as one of Steve's songs. I bet he does already. If he hasn't,
that one
he does already.
Mental Health by Quiet Riot, Twisted Sisters, We're Not Gonna Take It, Twisted Sisters, I Wanna Rock. Man, oh man. Y'all don't want to listen. Since my cancer battle started last year with the blood clots and everything, y'all don't want to see my playlist. Yes, sir. The big 5-0.
Oh man.
Like a Michael Jordan dunk in 1988. Michael Jordan score 50.
That's right. Oh, it 6 says, all right. They like the MILFs. I stand corrected, Cole. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous how these bronzexuals are.
Dude,
they just love it.
They're off the chart.
They are.
They're
I'm
off
sorry.
the charts.
See,
and that's being nice.
It's being nice. See, my partner requested this again, so you're gonna see another intro of the same segment we're on because this is to introduce him. And don't be surprised or alarmed if I have to step out soon because I actually have to attend a meeting. But here we go again.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the BRONSEXUal Confessions.
All yours.
Now, these BRONSEXUALs started last year, ballyhooing about what he's going to do at age 36/37, lead the Lakers to 70 wins, lead the Lakers to a world championship. And Cole remembers on my drive from Henderson, North Carolina to Durham, and then eventually, it starts from Henderson to Raleigh to drop my wife off at work, and then from Raleigh to Durham, where I do the show from Starbucks, and I miss the folks at Starbucks in Durham, North Carolina. We started these conversations then when Kendrick Perkins, how can I put this succinctly? You were tripping hard.
Very hard.
The Lakers had the potential to win 70 games. Stop the cap.
Carry
Please. Just stop the cap. And I immediately said, stop the cap.
Let me serve him this cup.
Stop the cap. 70 wins with this AARP old ass team? You're kidding. You had to be kidding. I borrow from what my partner said. You have to put a wheelchair logo in the lane just to show people how old these old fogies are. And you expect them to compete with the Warriors and the Grizzlies and the Nuggets on a consistent basis? That's just in the Western Conference. Wrong.
Teams that are younger, teams that are better shooters, and teams that are, I don't know. That's another theme. Oh, yes, more cohesive and play as a team. I'm sorry. Continue, sir.
And smarter.
And much
smarter.
And much smarter as a team. Yes.
And welcome to the King and Queen podcast. Great to have y'all with us. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to them. That is Ivan. What's up, Ivan?
Yeah.
If you haven't done so already, subscribe to their podcast. And also subscribe to the Snowman in the Morning YouTube channel, because next month, with Cole's help, we're going to get to 1,000 subscribers and monetize the ever-loving piss out of this channel. Now that I got that off my chest, back to the business at hand. 70 wins for this Laker team? No.
No.
I said they won't even win 40.
Wait. Let's do this correctly. The Lakers win 70 games in 2022.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no. Listen.
Ow! Oh, Lord, I'm on camera. Sorry.
Do it again. Do it again.
Oh, all right.
Do it again.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no. Listen.
Man, when Cole broke that out on my show, I wasn't in attendance. I had just come off surgery, and I was in ICU. But when Cole broke that out on my show, I laughed till I cried. Okay.
I love that.
Now I said they won't even win 40, and I got crushed for that.
Look at that. Look at God.
Look at God. Yes, look at God. Matter of fact,
so
give me that again. Give me that again. I gotta have one. Give me a triple play.
All right.
Give it to me.
Oh, no problem.
Give
No
it to
problem.
me.
Did the Lakers win 40 games this year?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
That never gets old.
And my next 4 words in this part of my bronsexual confession go, I rest my case. When you get blown out at home by 28 points on a Sunday night showcase against the New Orleans Pelicans, you deserve to lose every other game this season. The first night,
I'll do you one better. When you can lose
Please
not
do.
one, when you can lose not one, but 2 20-plus point leads to the Oklahoma City Thunder and lose, you know that team does not deserve to have a playoff spot. They don't deserve to even sniff a play-in round game.
Period. And if the Lakers had made the play-in round, you know it.
Yeah.
Listen, but you already know that these bronsexuals would look at it. If they got to the play-in round, it would be they would suffer the quote indignity, close quote, of being in the play-in round. And y'all didn't even get there. And yet all year long, you want to celebrate, get my favorite Stone Cold clip ready, because I got a few up my sleeve right now.
All right.
You want to celebrate Yo King.
What?
Man.
What?
Your deity.
What?
Your God.
What?
By saying no one has ever done what LeBron has done, and I put every piece of fruit in that LeBron at 37. I put every piece of fruit in that because these bronsexuals are fruitier than this Gatorade I have here to my left.
Yeah, not every piece of fruit. Oh, I gotta write that line. That's a gem. Okay.
And use it. Use it.
Gem. I'm gonna use that one.
Every piece of look, I mean that LeBron with every piece of fruit I can slip in that doggone thing.
Oh Lord.
Hear me and hear me well, bronsexuals. Yo Kang will never make the playoffs again. Ever. I said that last year and I got crushed. But I will say it again. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the form of a question, and I know my partner will have the correct answer. And the question goes like this. Will LeBron ever lead the Lakers back to the playoffs?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
Period.
Oh, and before I go, because I do have to leave, bronsexuals. For all of your boasting of this guy at 37 has done things that no other 37-year-old has done, and he now is the second best scorer in the game. It's not best scorer, it's most prolific. It's a whole difference. Because people don't consider Kareem the best. People don't consider Kareem the best scorer, although he could score with the best of them. They consider him the most prolific scorer. That's what LeBron will be when he eclipses
Kareem has the most indefensible.
Yes, Most indefensible shot
Kareem
in
had one
history
of the two most indefensible shots in NBA history. The second is Michael Jordan's fadeaway.
Yes, agreed. But for all of you to say that LeBron at 37 has done things that no other 37-year-old has done, and he's going to be the number one scorer in the game, and he has now 10,000 assists, he has 10,000 rebounds. No player has done the 30,000, 10,000, 10,000. To all of that, as I part, this is what I have to say about that. And with that, I leave you, sir. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you come home.
Thank you.
Take good care of yourself. I love you. Chat, I love you guys too. And I will see you all
Love you,
tomorrow morning.
Cole.
Love you, man. Love you guys.
Yeah, when the dynamic duo is back together for a full 120 minutes.
We're coming for the number one spot.
Yep, we definitely are. And as I close this BRONSEXUAL confession, and what I'm also going to do is take a break. Listen, there's just no way I see LeBron getting in the playoffs again, ever. Ever. McCain, yes, I will need you because I want to be sure I keep all my strength. And I'm trying to get the right button pushed here. As y'all can tell, I'm not in studio. But why won't this thing work? Sick Diggy says, have a great day at Cole Sports, BS3 Network, showing love, hottest of hot takes. And we also bring the coldest of cold hard facts. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. And I'm trying to push some buttons here. That's why you see me shaking. But while we get everything together and while everything comes together, as I said, BRONSEXUALs, hear me and hear me well. Ain't no way your king is getting back to the playoffs. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Now, do me a favor, BRONSEXUALs, will you please? Matter of fact, do me two favors.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Period. Because whatever you think about your king, we have proof to the contrary. And we will always have proof to the contrary. Sometimes you think this series would end on its own. Nope. The comedy writes itself. Good God, we've said this so many times. The comedy writes itself. And it continues to write itself. All we do is just put the facts behind it. That's all. That's all we do. And show people, no. Just not, just not good. And I think I have the right clip here in front of me. I'm improvising as I go. But that'll take care of this BRONSEXUAL confession.
sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of the BRONSEXUal Confessions.
I have to pause here while I'm resuming my full-time duties from a hospital. I told my wife that last night. I kind of gave myself away. And my wife said, "You did the show from here?" I said, "Yeah." And she starts laughing at me. But you know what? I love it. I love getting back and being strong enough to get back into the swing of things and forgive my hands, my Russian hands and Roman fingers from being all over the place and trying to press the right button here. This is what I get for not being in studio, but at the same time, this is also what I get for not taking care of myself and having to wind up being in a hospital. There we go. We got that out of there. But I love doing this. I absolutely love doing this. And as soon as I find what I find, see, this is where I need 2 monitors. This is exactly why I need 2 monitors. I'm going to try to convince my wife to take me to Goodwill so I can find a big fat monitor for my desk back in my office. Okay, here. All right, found what I need to find. And I keep pushing the wrong buttons. I'm sorry. I haven't done EP duties in a long time. I handed those over to Cole. And that's how it's going to stay. This is what I needed. This is what I had to have. But when y'all get back, I'm going to get Cool McCain in on the conversation. Little tease for tomorrow, Jay Spivey will join us. And what you're about to see is what I'm about to sell, and that's commercial ad space. We don't have any big time sponsors yet. And I really put the word yet into this. Second hour of Snowman in the Morning continues in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
If you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having a 1,000,000 season, if you can celebrate Marshall Faulk, who had a 1,000,000 season by electing him into the Hall of Fame, then why can't we celebrate the guy who originated the 1,000,000 season with a Hall of Fame election? I'm talking about the one and only Roger Craig.
If you want some, come get some.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
If you drop something. If you want some, come get some. I think what I'm going to add is a free-for-all segment with some of the folks that we have in the chat. Mr. McCain, how are you?
What's going on? Good to see you back
Good
on,
to
Snowman.
have you on, my man.
Yeah, man.
Good to be back. Good to be back. I want that chair. I'm just saying, I want that chair.
It's
The only
love, bro. It's
thing
love.
is, I gotta find. I love you, my man. Cool McCain, the host of the Eagles Elite podcast. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
Yes, sir. As well as the co-host of the Play Caller Sports Talk
Well,
Show.
as the co-host of the
Right
Play Caller Sports Talk Show. Now, I presented Chris Dietz with an offer yesterday. I'm going to do the same today for Mr. McCain and the Elite Eagles podcast, as well as the Play Caller Sports Talk Show. And I will put it in the form of a question. Mr. McCain, how would you like your Play Caller Sports Talk Show with you and your partner, our good friend Stephen Box, to come to the SDM Sports Network?
We'll talk about it. We'll chop it up.
Okay.
Most definitely.
We will indeed chop it up. Now let's have some fun here. We got about 21 minutes left in the program. Yours truly, along with Cool McCain,
ready.
taking you the rest of the way. If you feel it, folks, please donate to my cause for myself and my family. PayPal.me/snowman2172. It's not only to help the show, but it's to help me get through this cancer recovery. Why the hell won't these bronsexuals shut up?
Well,
I mean,
they're used to having
I
their mouth
hear-
open, for one, sir.
Skull. And that's the truth.
Yeah, man.
They used to having their mouths open and they used to having things in it.
Yes, sir. When you're at that point, man, you just, talking is just another way to have your mouth always open. You just get used to it.
That's it. That's it. And you get used to it. You get used to it. but I said at the beginning of the season that this season for LeBron and the Lakers would be a colossal failure. And you saw the responses I got on social media when I put that out there. You saw it.
Hey, man, you
Was I
can't
wrong?
go to a group. You weren't wrong, but you can't go to a group of people and basically tell them that the member that they constantly dream about, fantasize about, gulp on, receive protein deposits from, is not going to be able to play well, man, because they can't handle that. You know what I'm saying? They can't handle it. This generation, they can't handle the acknowledgement that someone isn't as good as they used to be. They just can't handle it.
Is it too much to them drinking the joy juice?
Those protein shots
drinking the joy juice?
Those protein shots must be very potent, sir. That's all I can tell you. I've never had one, but I'm just saying they must be pretty potent.
Me neither. And I don't plan to. But see, then the blame game starts. Everybody's pointing the finger at everybody else instead of taking one long collective look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it starts at the top with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. And Rob Pelinka shouldn't even be there in the first place. And yet there he still is, sitting in one of the high back chairs in the Lakers offices, wondering what the hell his job is. I said it.
Rob Pelinka doesn't.
I mean it.
I don't think he does anything, right? Like, he's there, but I don't really think he does anything.
In name only.
Right, because the person who runs the organization is LeBron, right? I mean, LeBron's the GM. Carmelo said it. The moves that they made show it.
Yep.
LeBron's been GM.
Yeah. Russell frickin' Westbrook. That should tell you everything you need to know. Right there.
And the thing is, man,
Russell Westbrook.
Go ahead, man.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, I've said it before. If you're gonna bring Russell Westbrook to this team, then allow him to be the Russell Westbrook that he is. Allow him to have the ball in his hands. Understand you're going to get the turnovers. You're going to get the great plays. He's never been, nor will he ever be, unless he takes the time to work on being a better jump shooter. You know these things when you brought him in. You made certain assurances to him when you brought him in. Then you didn't follow on those assurances. That's the same thing as me telling you, yes, Snowman, I'm gonna come on the show, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. Then I get on the show and I sit here and go,
See, that look
the entire time.
Right there. That look right there should tell Laker fans what they need to know. Should tell Laker fans what they need to know. All right, enough about LeBron and company. There's a very important Game 5 tonight in San Francisco, California, where I believe the Golden State Warriors are going to blow the roof off the Chase Center and celebrate the Western Conference Championship tonight in San Francisco. 3 years in the making after a shorthanded Warrior team beat the Portland Trailblazers to win the Western Conference title. And then Toronto just put it on them defensively. And I applaud that NBA Finals series. But I think by this weekend, and I want your thoughts on this, I think by this weekend we will know who our finals participants are.
Well, I'll tell you very simply. I've said from the beginning, gentleman's sweep for Golden State, because Golden State is going to do what they do, and that's go in there one game, take it off, and say we already up 2-0 or 3-0, and take a game off. And it pretty much felt like that's what they did in game 4. So definitely gentleman's sweep I have here.
And they still
I've said all along.
And they still nearly came back and won the bastard. They still nearly came back and won the bad boy.
But that's kind of what they've been doing. So there's nothing new about them doing that because they've done it in every series in the playoffs. They've taken a game or two off.
Right.
I think, they should go ahead and do what they need to do, handle their business tonight. Go ahead and dispatch of Dallas. Dallas isn't in the same category as them. Kudos to Dallas for getting here, but this is the end of the line for Dallas. And then
this is
out
the
east,
end of the road.
Yes, sir. And out east, I've said all along, Boston and Milwaukee was the Eastern Conference Finals. It happened early. The winner of that game is going to win the East. Boston won, so Boston is going to win the East. My prediction was Boston in 6. They're up 3-2 with a chance to do what? Win in 6 on Friday.
On their home floor. And celebrate the late, great Red Auerbach by clinching the East on their home floor. So
Miami
we're both thinking
doesn't
the
have
same
enough
thing.
offensive. Yeah. No offensive firepower for Miami, especially without Tyler Hero. I mean, even with him, there's not enough. So without him, I just don't see that happening.
So we think the same way that, so we think the same way that the Warriors are going to blow the roof off the Chase Center, and then the Celtics one night later will blow the roof off of TD Garden, and everybody gets a chance to rest, and then Memorial Day, we kick off the NBA World Championship Series. That's how I'm looking at it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's how it's going to play out. Moving on here as we are in our hodgepodge with Cool McCain, one of my brothers who I love having on the show, and I appreciate that.
No problem.
What is next for Milwaukee? I mean, they lose a grueling 7-game series against the Boston Celtics, and I predicted Boston would win that series. And I also predicted that series would go the distance. What's next for Milwaukee?
Well, a lot of people seem to forget that their second best player was on the floor for the whole series. If you run that team back with Chris Middleton actually playing, I don't believe that they lose that series. I don't believe it goes 7 games. But he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Injuries have been happening to a lot of people over the past few years. So I think what Milwaukee needs is 2 things. I said this last year. I'll say it again this year. They need a young, dynamic 5. He does not need to be able to shoot the ball. They need someone that does not shoot the ball outside of 15 feet. He can have a fear of shooting jump shots outside of 15 feet, and it will work for them. Because all the bigs that they have now want to shoot. They need a traditional big to run with the second unit that runs the floor, athletic, can dunk, can be a game changer on defense. That's one piece that they definitely need. Lopez is getting older. Portis and Giannis are really stretch 4s. Giannis can play down low, but we see a tendency to fall in love with the 3 when he makes one. He's the only player I hate to see make a 3-pointer. Like when Giannis makes a 3, I'm like, oh my gosh. This game is about to be a whole bunch of air balls by Giannis. But they need that, and they need another prolific scorer on the wing. He does not have to be a great defensive player, but he does have to be a good defensive player. Because to play in Milwaukee, you have to be good defensively. Grayson Allen tricked us into believing that he could be that guy for a couple of games. But once he hit Boston, they shut that down real quick. So you just need those 2 pieces, I think. Yep. And the reason why I say the center is because they need a defensive anchor that they've lost in PJ Tucker. A lot of Bucks fans may not want to admit this. I'm not a Bucks fan, so I guess that's why it's easy for me to admit it, even though I do cover them, is the simple fact of you need that defensive anchor. You need that guy that you can say, go guard him. We need to take him out of the game. And in the East, a lot of the times that's a big, that's a 4 or 5, right? Or even like a Kevin Durant type player. So with those being the guys, you need a big that's young, that can still move his feet, play good defense, rebound, and be that anchor. That's 2 things that they were missing was, of course, Chris Middleton and his shooting, and then a defensive anchor. And they still, with Chris Middleton, probably would have won a championship this year. But it wasn't meant to be, but that's what they need.
Yeah. What about, let's look at Memphis. because Memphis and Golden State are going to give us playoff series on top of playoff series on top of playoff series for years to come. All right. Memphis is no joke, but it's a war of attrition, as you and I both said on and off the air. And unfortunately, injuries got to Memphis just as Golden State was getting healthy at the right time. So Memphis just needs to get healthy. What
pretty much
can assist Memphis to get them? What can assist, if anything, what can assist Memphis to get them further along in the playoffs?
Memphis could use a guy in the ilk of like John Wall or Russell Westbrook that wouldn't mind coming off of the bench and dogging the second unit. So that if you have an injury to a guy like Ja and he misses games, then you have someone that you can plug in for 10, 15 games or in spots in the playoffs so that you don't lose that offensive punch. That's the biggest thing, I think, because a lot of people want to say, oh, you know, they played better without Ja Morant and blah, 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 and blue, blue, blue. Anybody can play 10, 15 games and be good without their star player in load management NBA. But when you need to win games against better teams, you want your star player there. And if you can't have him, you want somebody that can at least provide some of the things that he can provide. So I think that's what they could use, is a guy that, you know, is a point guard, but can also score the ball at a large clip, that doesn't mind coming off the bench, playing some of the second unit, playing some of the first unit, and being a spot starter if, you know, Ja gets hurt again or has to miss games.
Yeah, and I felt for Memphis because I thought that series was going to go all 7 games. I felt for Memphis. That was my Western Conference final. That was my West final. I didn't trust Phoenix. For every reason that everyone was saying to me. It's Chris Paul, ... and who else? And Chris Paul ran into some problems against Dallas.
Yes, he did.
Chris Paul ran into a ton of problems against Dallas. And then on top of that, the philosophy of the Phoenix Suns, they took their foot off the pedal after they went up 3-2 and didn't take care of business in Dallas when they had a chance.
One second, Snowman. All right, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. Oh, awesome. Well, let's take a look at some of these comments. Stick Diggy joining in the conversation. Should Thanasis, did I get that right? Yeah, Thanasis and Giannis consider lobbying for the younger brother Costas to join the team. He's 6'10" and currently playing in France. Have to see how that plays out. Drop your comments below. No matter what the sport. I think what I'm going to add is a segment called Free for All Friday. And in the midst of me planning a third hour, I think that's how I'm going to do it. I think I got Cool McCain back. Let me add him.
Yeah, my
back
bad,
to
guys.
The fray.
I had to hop on my phone and somebody called me and it booted me off, but I'm back.
Modern technology, right?
Gotta love it.
Modern technology, right? But man, it's such a pleasure to have you on with me, and we're gonna make this as frequent as possible. I got plans for the show. Cole does too. We're gonna put them all together, and we're just gonna do the damn thing. That's it. We're just gonna do the thing. All right, let me let you go. I got to go to a break, but I want to thank you, Cool McCain, for coming on and tell the good folks where they can find you.
Well, on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m., go to your YouTube browser, type in Eagles Elite Podcast. You'll see the space. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join us. If you can't watch it live, watch it whenever you can. On Friday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Play Call Sports Talk Show. Me and my boy Steven Box, the tag team champs of Interactive Sports Talk, and nobody's taking them. We're keeping them. PlayCallerSportsTalk.com. Check us out, man. We live.
We'll have to make it an 8-man tag. We'll have to make it an 8-man tag team championship because me and Cole want a piece of that. We won't take your titles. We'll just add. We'll just add to it. The only difference is we go 5 days a week. Y'all only go 1 day a week. But we'll add. We'll enhance it. We're not going to take them.
It's all about that. It's all about the interaction for us, man. We love the interaction. We love when people get on the talk. You can agree with us. You can disagree with us. It doesn't matter. It's all about the conversation. So, that's what we try to push.
Yep. And it's a great show. I had the pleasure of being on the show with you. I've had the pleasure of watching it. It's a fantastic show. So join the Play Callers Sports Talk Show Fridays, as well as the Eagle Elite Podcast. You can find them both on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe to their channel. Help them grow. Help this channel grow. Help our network grow. And for those of you that think we can't take down the big boys, watch this. That's all I got to say. Watch this.
I'm dangerous, by the way.
Always a pleasure to have you on, brother. But we're all dangerous. We're all dangerous. And
definitely.
Let me throw one more note out there. And I definitely want to get your thoughts on this. This is 5 seconds off of sports. I saw that on Facebook, so I figured I'll use it. Who the hell said man can't work together in the same industry, have fun, and build something great?
They've never seen us.
This is something Cole and I talk about all the time. They've never seen us. This is something Cole and I talk about all the time, and this is also something my wife and I talk about all the time. You and I talk about it all the time also. Who says? Who the hell says we can't do it? That's all I mean, we're doing it now. We're doing it now.
If there's no ego,
every moment that we're on each other's show.
Yeah.
No
if
ego.
There's no ego, man, and we're all just trying to do. Yeah, we're just trying to do what's best for, for the people who watch, for ourselves. Giving honest opinions and content, man. That's all you can really ask for. It's respect too. You have to respect the people that you work with, and you have to respect where you are, in the process. Some people think, I've been doing this for a year, so now I'm the best podcaster in the world. You're not. I've been doing this for a couple of years.
No.
I'm not the best, but I'm working and I'm learning a lot from you and Cole and people you have on the show, and other people who, help mentor me, man, help me be better. And that's all I can ask, man. And in return, I, respect you guys. Anytime I can hop on, anything I can do to help, I'm there.
And we will definitely continue to help each other. I mean, I've been doing this show 8 years. And finally, some of the tweaks I put into play are starting to pay off, but still more work to do. There's still more mountains to move and mountains to climb. Still more mountains to climb. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. I can't wait to have you on again. Thank you.
No doubt. All right, man.
That is the one and only Cool McCain, the host of the Eagles Elite Podcast, as well as the Play Callers Sports Talk Show, 3 minutes before the top of the hour. And I'm going to just go ahead and get out of here because this has been absolutely incredible. One more comment. You might want to get the clip of Danny Glover saying his trademark quote from the Lethal Weapon franchise. You know what? I think I'm going to give that idea to Cole and have him work on it. I'm going to give that idea to Cole and have him work on it. But as Cole does every day, and as I will continue to do, thank you all for being here with us, for us, and beside us as we continue to build this thing. Subscribe to the show on YouTube, youtube.com/snowmaninthemorning50. That's youtube.com/snowmaninthemorning50. And I originally said June 1st. I'm going to back it up to June the 4th. On June the 4th, and it may happen earlier in the week. Don't know yet. Still working on timing and getting back into the office and getting everything ready. Beg your pardon. Subscribe to the show on YouTube, but the website will launch next week. My original target was June 1st. I'm going to back it up to June 4th just to make sure everything is in place, including the shop, previous videos, the correct links are there. Just so much for me to catch up on. And I plan to do that. And I would be remiss if I didn't send a special shout out to one. Sorry about that alarm. Sorry about that alarm, folks. I would be remiss if I didn't send a shout out to one Charles Faulkner, the police officer who I call Dr. Faulkner, and the man in charge of the Black Lion security firm that I made a promise and I plan to keep it. I'll give you details on that tomorrow. But Charles, I love you dearly. You have been there with me and for me since 2016 when we met through the Garanimal himself, Matt Granahan. There's not much I can say except I love you. I love you guys in the chat. Andrew, Sig Diggy, K Peeps 00. Who else was with us today? A great show. Have a great day, y'all. Thank you, Andrew. Forget Stella getting her groove back. Old Snowman's getting his groove back. All right? Old Snowman's getting his groove back. And we have reached the top of the hour. And this is the time for me to exit. I'm going to work on my presentation all throughout the course of the weekend. And if y'all feel that you can do so, please donate to paypal.me/snowman2172. My time is up. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're just simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We hope y'all are too. Tomorrow, I'm going to send an email. Tomorrow, I'll be back in the office, God willing. And by Monday, if not Tuesday, I'm going to have a couple of new toys to really make the presentation better. And we're going to tighten the ship. We're going to continue to tighten the ship. We're going to continue to make this better. All right. I heard you. My alarm here to my right is telling me to wrap it up. So let me go ahead and wrap it up. All right. If your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. God bless everybody. See you tomorrow. Snowman's out of here.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.